today we're going to be sharing our honest review of TRON Lightcycle Run at Walt Disney World. So stick around to hear our thoughts.
Yeah, so TRON is a ride that I don't want to say either you love it or you hate it, but kind of like some of the other more recent rides at Walt Disney World, there have been some controversy surrounding it. One of the biggest things is that, this ride was a clone from another Disney park around the world, and it took them like 5 years to complete. So I know that a lot of people were upset about that, especially considering how long the ride actually is, because I think it's not very long at all. Yeah, it's like a minute to a minute and a half. It's a pretty short ride.
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts about it?
Yeah. So I really did not know what I was getting into, to be honest. Like I hadn't really paid a lot of attention to what the concept was. I knew you were on a little bike type ride vehicle, but that was pretty much all that I knew. And then as we get there and we're walking up to it and I'm seeing the track, and then people come down and you're real close to the ground, and I was a little bit I don't know that anxious was the right word. I'm not a super intense roller coaster kind of person, so I was I pretty much knew going into it that this was gonna be pushing my limit of what I was comfortable with. So I personally was actually really glad that it was as short as it was, because I think one of the first things I said to you after I got off was, I'm glad it wasn't any longer than that, because I got to the end and I was okay, good, I get to get off now. It was not a bad ride at all. It was just very intense, and for me. But again, I'm kind of a chicken when it comes to that. But I did it, and I didn't freak out, but it was really fun, and the ride itself was very well done, as far as the ride was so smooth, and it was such a cool experience. I thought I was going to be really terrified at the point where you come out and you can see the people and the sidewalk and stuff. I thought that was going to be really scary to me. Underneath, yeah. But it was actually super cool, and it was kind of fun because I was able to spot you guys and wave, but it was really cool. But yeah, it was a very unique ride for me, and I don't know, I will say that I didn't feel super secure on the little bike thing. It was totally secure. I wasn't going anywhere. But me in my, I don't love the super high fast stuff, I was I'd like another seatbelt or a little bit more
restraint
around me, a little more restraint. I'm clearly not a motorcycle person, so that was very out of my comfort zone. But it was a very fun ride. I was very pleasantly surprised with it, and I was glad that I was able to do it and still enjoy it, even though it was okay, that was kind of my limit.
Yeah, and I was really glad that you got on it, because a lot of times with these type of rides, especially with the age of our children, sometimes you tend to pass on some of this stuff. And so it was really nice that we could do the rider swap, and that you could get on and then I could stay with the kids, and that you actually were able to enjoy it. And so I was really proud of you and glad that you could have that experience, because it really is a fun ride. Now I will say, because I tend to be the one who loves the high thrill and intense roller coasters and themed rides and whatever else, and I really enjoyed it. I would say my only complaint is that it is too short. So that was something that was really a positive for you, which is great. And for people who just kind of want a little bit of roller coaster but not too much, you don't feel like you're just stuck on it for an eternity, that's kind of your speed, and that's good for you. But I would have liked the ride at least to be double the length of that it was. But I will say that the ride as it is, I think is just super fun. Yeah, is it short? Is it a little too short? Yeah, I think it is. But, it is what it is. And for what it is a fun attraction.
For sure.
And although you do have to wait a long time, and, it could seem wow, did I really wait however many hours or whatever it is.
90 minutes for a less than 2 minute ride.
Right. And, but, even with that, once you finally get on the ride, and even going through the queue, and just, it is really well themed.
Yeah.
And I think the music is great. And just the excitement of being launched out of the tunnel, out into the open area and the canopy, and then once you get into the show building where the rest of the roller coaster is, like, it's fun to see all the screens and just everything going on, and it's just a fun ride. So I just know that when I got done with it, I was like wanting more. So I guess you just have to get back in line and wait another an hour and a half or whatever it is. But no, so yeah, it's super fun. And again, we know that a lot of people don't like the ride because it is so short, but I don't know, with the way things are at Disney now, it kind of makes sense that if they have a ride at another park, at least we get it here in the US. I think that's a fortunate thing for us. And
at least we got it.
Yeah, and you know, this is not something that they tore down and replaced, so this is in addition to the park. So I think we just, before we throw all the hate at Disney for, you know, not expanding the track and making it longer, okay, yeah, we got a clone ride from another park around the world, but at least we got another ride. And I don't know, I think overall it's super fun. And we didn't get to ride it at night, which I know a lot of people enjoy with everything being lit up, but it's still going to be an amazing ride either way, because you're only outside for, you know, like less than 20 seconds or whatever it is. But it's great. We had a good time, and our oldest daughter, who is like me and loves all the thrill roller coasters, and she's like, hey, I want to ride that ride. I was like, well, you gotta wait until you're a little bit taller. So she's always talking about it though and wanting to go on it, and so I was like,
she keeps asking, am I tall enough for Tron? Am I tall enough for Tron? Not yet.
Yeah. So hopefully one day. But overall, we think it's a good ride, and we know in some ways that's a little bit of an unpopular opinion because, like we've said, a lot of people are kind of hating on it just because of this and that, and we try to be fairly, you know, open-minded about things.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts on it, or?
No, I mean, I think just what you were saying, like, we try to find the positives in things. We try not to, like, unnecessarily pick things apart. And just kind of like you were talking about, hey, at least because it was a clone ride, at least we got the ride, you know? Could Disney have done more to it? Sure. You could always do more to anything, but at least we got it, you know? So just kind of, we try to go into it with a grateful mindset of like, hey, at least we get to ride it. At least we got something, you know, this is a new ride. This is fun. We get to ride it. So we try to be objective with that and not, like you said, not be unnecessarily negative or over the top positive and like everything is wonderful all the time, because, you know, we do have legitimate critiques about things, but, you know, just like with anything, there's positive and negative, and so much of it is just like, what's your mindset going into it, and just trying to be positive. And like, if you go into it thinking, oh, I've heard all this negative stuff about it and it's not going to be very fun, or it's going to be too short or whatever, then that's really going to color your experience on the ride. But if you go into it with an open mind and you just appreciate it for what it is, then you'll probably end up having a better time than you thought.
Yeah, and I think if you do that, you're right. It is a lot of fun, and I don't know. I would ride it again. I love that. I love it. I think it's a great ride, and honestly, if we're giving it a rating, I would probably rate it about a 7-ish. If you followed some of our other videos, that's about where I've been landing with a lot of these rides. As we've said, you know, 5 is kind of average, so anything above that is really, really good. But the reason I wouldn't give it any higher is because I think it's too short. Now, from your perspective, you might give it a lot higher because you like that it was short. But yeah, for me, if it was longer, I probably would give it like an 8 or an 8.5. But because it is shorter, I do like the theming, I do like the music, I do like the ride in and of itself, but it's just a little too short for my liking, so I can't give it really any higher than a 7.
Yeah, and I would probably give it an 8 because, you know, kind of like you said, it was about the perfect amount of time for me, and I think, you know, yes, you could say, would it be nice for it to be longer for a lot of people? Sure, but what you do get on that ride is very high quality. Like, the track is smooth, the experience is amazing, so boiling it down to what you do actually get, it's really high quality. It's definitely, I would give it an 8 for what you actually are getting, what you're experiencing, what the whole package experience is. So, but yeah, so I think I would give it an 8.
So those are our thoughts about TRON Lightcycle Run at Walt Disney World. And if you like that video, please like and subscribe, and please be sure to follow along with us. We've got a lot of other content here on the channel that we'd like for you to check out. In fact, why don't you check out this video right here?